I got home from Command Fest Anaheim and immediately started building a Shadowfax deck. Although I didn't have all the cards I wanted for the deck, and so the start of this deck has just kind of been sitting on my table, partially built. I've literally been eating in the kitchen in the living room since the dining room table is covered in magic cards. So today, we're finishing the first draft of the deck. It's not going to be done. I don't think I have all the cards I need to have the exact deck I want, but this is what I can build with just the cards I already own. If there's something perfect that you can see I'm missing, let me know in the comments and maybe over time I can add some more cards to it. I think the biggest hole will be the horses because I don't have many horse cards. But with all that in mind and out of the way, let's go build a deck. So I actually pulled a Shadowfax in my pre-release draft and I built the whole deck around it. And I was so excited and I was chatting with my friend Rachel and she gave me the foil Shadowfax. So this deck is in part brought to you by the amazing Rachel Weeks. You can see her on the command zone and she's fantastic and I'm so excited to build this deck. Shadowfax is a 4/4 legendary horse that says horses you control have haste. They can attack and tap as soon as they come under your control. Whenever Shadowfax, Lord of Horses, attacks, you may put a creature card with lesser power from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Now, watch this scene from the Lord of the Rings movies, Return of the King.
Run, Shadowfax. Show us the meaning of haste.
Shadowfax does, in fact, show us the meaning of haste on the card. Haste is such a well-known keyword, it very rarely has the definition on the card. The flavor here is perfect. I mentioned before in my video on the 5 commanders from Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth that caught my eye during preview season that I love seeing other Boros cards with the flavor of putting another card onto the battlefield, like Winota, Joiner of Forces. So naturally, I put Winota, Joiner of Forces in my Shadowfax deck. Winota! Winota says, whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. So I want to try to have enough humans to make this worth it. I also put this super adorable 90s binder secret lair crested sunmare. I want all cards look like the 90s binder secret lair, and many other cards. Although I don't think listing off the cards I'm putting in one by one is the most effective way of sharing my deck with you all. So let's start at the beginning and chat about what my goals and the theme for this deck are. I'm hoping to build this deck as a mid to high power casual commander deck. I love building decks at all power levels. I enjoy playing casual commander, as well as CEDH, and I will generally play any type of commander game as long as there's a solid Rule Zero conversation and everyone's on the same page. I'm building this deck completely with cards I already have that aren't currently in decks or cards that I'm willing to steal from myself from other decks to stick into this deck. I'm already eyeing my Ishin Two Heavens as one and my Lathiel Boundless Dawn deck to see what creatures with attack triggers and what horse cards I do have that I can rehome into this deck. Looking to steal some horses from this deck? My Ishin deck is actually a secret Kalia deck, since Kalia's ability is an attack trigger that Ishin doubles, and I really leaned into dragons, angels, and demons with attack triggers when building it. My Lathiel deck is actually a transformed version of my very first commander deck I built myself. Actually, my Giada and Lathiel decks stemmed from that very first commander deck I built. I can do a whole separate video on that if you're interested. My first thought was horse theme. But I don't have a lot of horse cards, so Horses Matter will definitely be a sub-theme of the deck. I know I'm putting in Winota, so I think I'm going to do a bit of a human sub-theme with some stacks pieces to slow down the game a bit while I build up my creature army. I also want to focus on boosting Shadowfax. I love the equipment scene in Boros, and I've never built an equipment deck. Boosting Shadowfax will allow me to cheat out more creatures. Woohoo! Let's build and get these cards off my dining room table. I started by gathering all of the horses I could find, and I've got 3? I have exactly 3 horses. I'll get more, but for now, these are the 3. Do shapeshifters count? I've got 4. Well, then there's Shadowfax. 5 total. That's better. And I don't have Bill the Pony. We'll just have to know that one of these cards is getting cut as soon as I get that card. Next, I started grabbing creatures in red and white that I liked and equipment in red and white that I liked. Often with deck building from cards I already own, I like to gather anything and everything that I think might work and then sort and separate them into piles. It kind of feels like drafting at that point, which is super fun. I'm going to put in a mix of creatures, and I'm especially interested in creatures that I can cheat out with Shadowfax. Blah. Oh, I put in Karmic Guide. I love this one, not only because I love angels, because hopefully I can get things back from the graveyard, and I could cheat this one out with Shadowfax. Eagles of the North. Okay, Sunmane Pegasus looks like a horse. I wonder if I should add this to my horse count. I feel like it should count. Let me know what you think. Oh, Samwise the Stout-Hearted. I'm excited about this one. So it has flash. Whenever it enters the battlefield, choose up to one target permanent in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, return it to your hand. This also adds the Ring Tempts You. I don't really lean into the Ring Tempts You mechanic in this deck, but maybe I should. Rumor Gatherer, Core Cartographer, Zerim Golden Wing. This one being a 3/4, I could cheat it out with Shadowfax. And I like this because whenever a Griffin you control deals combat damage to a player, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. I feel like that could help me build a lot of a board state, which is nice. And also flying, good. Or creatures that can boost or protect Shadowfax. I also love the idea of getting extra combat phases and attacking with Shadowfax more than once. I'm feeling the extra combat steps. I might even see if I can find more. Also doing some light stacks in the deck. I think locking down the whole board, it doesn't necessarily lead to fun games, but I do think that slowing my opponents down might help me win. So I've got, this card here, Spirit of the Labyrinth. Each player can't draw more than one card each turn. Just nice, fair magic. Spell Tithe Enforcer, just, stopping people from playing spells, because whenever an opponent plays a spell, that player sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 1. Loxodon Gatekeeper. Artifacts, creatures, and lands your opponents control come into play tapped. They can't block if they're tapped. Archon of Emeria. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. I also have like Windborn Muse to deter people from attacking me. This is Thalia, but flavored as Mina Harker. First strike, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Don't counter my things. Just light stacks. So these are the humans I have so far. I think I might even want to go a little heavier on humans. I've got a mix of some good support stuff, some stacks things. And so I like the humans I have so far, especially attacking creatures you control have double strike. That's great. This Blade Historian's perfect. And so I've got some good ones. Oh my gosh, I put in the new Aemir. Excited about that. Oh my gosh, look at this. Warhammer Secret Lair. So exciting. Okay. Look at the Selfless Savior. I'm putting it in. Can be cheated out, and then also could potentially save Shadowfax, which I know will have a target on it. Okay, I'll have to boost Shadowfax before I could cheat it out, but ancient gold dragon? It's a horse. I know that I want to include interaction in this deck. It will be a really heavy creature deck, but I still want to have at least one board wipe. I generally don't really like board wipes, but I think they can sometimes set you up to win the game. I should be able to build pretty quickly with Shadowfax, and so the hope would be that if it gets to the point where I need a board wipe, I could rebuild quickly enough to close the game. Cleansing Nova. What? Okay, well, I'm only putting in one Cleansing Nova. We'll have to pick which one. I also want to have targeted removal as well as protection for Shadowfax and my other creatures. I love playing cards on other people's turns, and so I often look to instants and things with flash. Lots of other interaction, mana rocks, stuff like that. Staples like Chaos Warp. I want to put in some stuff like Path of Ancestry, Swords to Plowshare, but I'll have to steal them from another one of my decks, and so I haven't fully done that yet. I also stuck in some enchantments. I'm excited about Rising of the Day. Creatures you control have haste. Thematic. Legendary creatures you control get +1/0. So for 3 mana, I am making Shadowfax a 5/4, which lets me cheat out things that are 4 power or less, which is great. And then also I give everything haste. And Shadowfax and my other horses, you know, all 3 plus the changeling of them already have haste, but now everybody can have haste. And a lot of equipment and equipment support. I'm excited about the equipment. I feel like Blackblade Reforged is gonna make a huge difference in this. Ooh, I was excited about this too. Maybe extra combat steps. So now I have like multiple extra combat step enablers. Ooh, see some fun equipment. Oh my gosh, love this one. Cloudsteel Kieran. I don't know, kind of looks like a horse too, if you squint. I don't really have an equipment deck, and while that's not the only theme of this deck, I think it works well with Shadowfax, and I'm excited to explore equipping Shadowfax. It just makes me think of that scene in Tangled where Maximus is sword fighting with Flynn Rider. We can picture that as I play this deck. Thank you so much for watching. I was hesitant to announce it in yesterday's video because I was already running behind and it was literally day 1 of my self-imposed July challenge, but I've made it to day 2, so I think I'm ready to share that my goal is to post a YouTube video every day in July. I'm hoping that this will give me the chance to really experiment with the types of videos I want to make. When I'm just making 1 video a week, it's a huge commitment to deviate with the style or topic of a video. I'm hoping that by making a video every day this month, I can be really creative with my content and share a little bit more of myself with you all. So keep an eye out for day 3's video coming tomorrow at the same time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you can't wait until then, you can watch another deck tech where I build my Kibo Utabi Prince deck right here.